The Corcoran Entertainment Show is brought to you by Podmatch, the ultimate platform designed to connect podcast hosts with prospective guests effortlessly. Are you a podcaster looking to elevate your show to new heights? Or perhaps you're a guest hoping to share your story with a broader audience. Whatever your podcasting goals are, we have the perfect solution for you. Podmatch simplifies the entire process of discovering guests for your show or finding podcasts to feature your expertise. Now imagine a platform where you can easily match with like-minded creators tailored specifically to your niche. With Podmatch, you can effortlessly network with influencers and thought leaders, all while staying true to your podcast vision. There are a multitude of ways that Podmatch can help you grow your brand. You can be part of a thriving community of podcasters and potential guests. Engage, collaborate, and grow together. If you're ready to experience these fantastic benefits for yourself, we invite you to join Podmatch today. Head over to www.joinpodmatch.com/Corcoran Entertainment and sign up right now for only $6 a month. That's right, you heard me right, $6 a month. Join the Podmatch family today and watch your podcast soar to new altitudes. Thank you for tuning into the Corcoran Entertainment Show, and happy podcasting. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Corcoran Entertainment Show today. I am your host, Frankie Corcoran. Happy Thursday. Near the end of October now, years flying by. Before we start the show today, I just want to give a little plug for what's going on next month. I've talked about it many times, but Fractured Festivities, Corcoran Entertainment's next theatrical production. Very proud of it and very excited that it's fast approaching. Anybody listening who's in the local area, anybody who's listening for Bonnie Clevering, and they're like, what's going on here? What are you talking about? Just use the AI generated chapters in the episode description and skip right to the interview. But I just use this platform to just plug what's going on. And so Fractured Festivities, Dr. Loge Middle School Theater, 124 Henderson Street. We open on November 14th and run to the 15th. And tickets are $20, and they can be purchased at the door or by texting or calling 1-506-624-3315. And you can also buy them on Eventbrite as well. So just want to give a little shout out for that because it's coming up quick. Rehearsals are going great, and we're just very excited to be able to put this on for everybody. So just a little shout out for that. I know the holidays get busy and things like that. It's crazy that I'm already talking about the holidays like they're coming up quick because, well, they are. They are. So thank you guys again, as always, for listening to the show. If you like it, all that good stuff, be sure to give us a nice review, rating. All that stuff helps the show. And I got holes in my mouth just trying to get rid of this cough. I've had this cough for a few weeks now. You might be able to tell on the interview that I got a little bit of a frog in my throat. Maybe not. I could just be saying that for nothing. But anyway, all right, let's stop rambling here and let's get to our guest. Very excited to have her on here today. Bonnie Clevering. She's a Hollywood hair designer of 50 years with 120 A-list credits and a new memoir called Continuity with Bonnie Clevering, Life Beyond the Credits. Amazing. I'm absolutely was delighted to have her on the show. Done so much, worked with so many amazing people, and we talk about a lot of different things. She's worked with Elvis Presley, played a prank on Elvis Presley, worked with a lot of people like Brad Pitt, Al Pacino, Kristen Stewart, and a lot of great stories that she tells on it. So hope you guys enjoyed the interview. If you like it, as always, as I mentioned, leave us a nice review, rating. Always helps us out. And guys, so without further ado, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast today. All right, hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Corcoran Entertainment Show. I am your host, Frankie Corcoran, and today I'm joined by a very accomplished, esteemed hair designer. She worked for 5 decades as a motion picture hairstylist. Did the hair of many of the biggest stars in the world, and she also has a new book out which kind of details all of her stories in the industry and everything. Continuity with Bonnie Clevering, Life Beyond the Credits, and that is available everywhere you get your books. Very excited to have her on here. Bonnie Clevering. Bonnie, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Thanks for having me, Frankie.
Yes, well, thanks for coming on. And before I start, I just want to ask, as a hairstylist, is my hair okay today?
Oh, you're looking good.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm always every time I go back and look at some of the footage, I'm like, "Oh my God, my hair's sticking up." It's fine. But now this is the first interview I've done with a stylist, a hairstylist. So I'm like, "Okay, I really better make sure it looks good or who knows what she'll say about me." But you've done a lot. It's crazy just looking at all of your accomplishments and, congratulations on all of that and a very successful career. Now that you've been retired from it for a while now, do you still miss it? Do you wish you could go back? Do you still do it from time to time? Like, how are you with it now?
No, I think I don't miss. I mean, I miss the camaraderie and the talks with my actors and even some of the social life and the designing and creating and so forth. But the hours were just crucial. My last Well, I the last thing I was retired 7 years ago. Then Jennifer Aniston called me to do something, so I went out of retirement. But I've been out now about 6 years. But the film I did before Jennifer was Hilary Swank in South Africa, in Mary and Martha, and we went to work at 10 in the morning and got home at 6 in the morning, and that was a sample of ours. And I did several films with Oliver Stone, Born on the Fourth of July, JFK, Any Given Sunday, and on Born on the Fourth of July, it was the day before we were supposed to wrap, and we'd already put in several hours, and they made an announcement that if we wanted to keep going, they would pay us extra money, whatever. And so that ended up being a 24-hour day. And so it took the toll on, I think, well, it does on so many of us in the business.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't see that too. It's kind of funny whenever you talk when there's actors who are at the top of their game and they get offered the chance to do a sequel or whatever the case may be. And if they say no, people will always give them crap for it and go, "Oh, like come on, you're getting paid lots of money." It's like, but it's not always about the money,
No,
Like it's about you're getting burned out. It's a lot of time away from family. It's a whole other thing that people don't seem to get. There's a whole lot that goes into it. And I mean, like, being a hairstylist too and everything. I mean, that's got to be like you said, you show up at 10 a.m. and then you leave at 6 a.m. Like they're
mhm.
long, long days, time away from family and things like that. How did you kind of cope with that, with not being around your family as much? Because, just working so much and it's hard to make the time. Sometimes you're like, "Oh, I can't do this, guys, because I'm working, like pretty well, like 15 hours straight." So how'd you kind of manage that?
Well, when I first started in the 60s, my husband and I drove from Fort Lauderdale, Florida when we got married and drove straight to California. I didn't know what I knew I was going to have to get a cosmetology license for the state of California, but at the time when I got in the business, it was just my husband and I. But my dream was to have a family, and then once that started happening, we end up moving to Indianapolis, where I have family that live, and I just got out of the business for a while, and then in the '80s we moved to Dallas because of my husband's work, and the kids were in school, like grade school and junior high, and come to find out that Texas at the time had a great tax incentive for the film business, and not thinking I was ever going to get back in after leaving LA. And sure enough, I start. getting my name out and start working. And majority of stuff in Dallas was right in Dallas. I didn't do as many locations then. And so it worked out family wise. And then I kind of got the urge because I was back in the business. So my husband and the kids were in college, and my husband and I went back to LA, and I got back in doing it. And fortunately, I end up, my phone keeps binging. Fortunately, I got back in at the right time, and all of a sudden, I was asked, to do a Steven Soderbergh film, and my husband at the time had a fast cancer. I mean, within weeks, he was gone, and he was just 55 years old. So now the kids are in college, my husband's gone, and I kind of got my act together about 6 months later and thought I needed to go back to work, not only financially, but I felt mentally. So that's when I think part of my career just really, I just got with the right directors and the right people. And I did Jennifer in the Out of Sight with George Clooney. And then I was doing all of Steven Soderbergh's films, and all of a sudden I knew I was the next one I was going to do, and I was department heading then. I wasn't so much doing individual actors, and so I knew I was going to be doing Aaron Brockovich as the department head. And a few months before, I get a call, and this woman says, uh, I'm representing a client and they want to know who did Jennifer Lopez and Out of Sight. And I said, I did. And I said, who's your client? And she said, Julia Roberts. And so I end up then moving up to personal with Julia on Aaron Brockovich. And it's kind of like if actors are thinking of changing hairdressers or makeup artists or costume designers, they they kind of see what's been going on and who's been doing who. So I started working with Julia on that, and then I did like 10 movies with her. And then I did a film with Al Pacino up in Vancouver, and Hilary Swank was in it, and we just took a liking to each other like sisters. And so I started doing Hilary's films. And and then I met Brad Pitt on working with Julia, and then he asked me to do Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So it just kind of that's how it just kind of moved along, how I end up being able to, and not having family that I had to answer to or provide for or whatever. So it worked out. I was single hairdresser, being able to make a living and build a retirement since I didn't have a husband anymore.
No, and sorry to hear about that too, about your husband and like just how tough that is. And uh the fact that you're able to in an industry that's difficult to get into, you were able to make your living off it, which is awesome. And you worked with a lot of incredible people. I mean, got Brad Pitt, Julia Roberts, Jennifer Aniston. Are
Yeah,
there
and Kristen's
any
great.
Kristen? Yeah,
Yeah,
Stewart's
yeah.
from what's she from?
The,
Also Titanic, Twilight.
yeah, I did Eclipse and the two Twilight, the last three Twilights, and then after that, I went on to London with Kristen and did Snow White and the Huntsman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow, so you
yeah,
were busy.
yeah. And Kristen's just a doll, just a doll, and it's amazing. The Twilight fans are just zillions around the world. And so I've been uh, doing some book fairs and book sightings at Barnes and Nobles, whatever. And there's so many in that age group that just want to hear about Kristen's wedding hair and when she had to wear a wig and eclipse. And so it still keeps going for me since I've written the book and out there, publicizing it.
And it's one of those things, it won't go away. People are always going to ask you, what was it like working with this person and that person? And especially Twilight, where it's so, like you said, just millions and millions of fans around the world. Did you work with Robert Pattinson at all? He's a great actor who, of course,
Oh
Batman.
yeah.
Yeah. Have you worked with him?
Yeah, well, he was of course on all the Twilight movies that I did. And I I wasn't in charge of his hair and the design of the hair and the continuity of his hair, but I did uh have to touch up his hair sometimes. But being with Rob and Kristen, it we had a big social life as far as if we got done work early, we would cook. She's a great cook, and I love to cook. And many, many days, if we got done early, we'd go back to my apartment and make tacos or whatever. And Rob, of course, was always part of our social life, or we went out to dinners and that. Great guy, just as nice as can be.
That's amazing. And it's so nice when actors are exactly maybe not exactly how you envision, but it's great whenever you see an actor who you admire and they've been in so many amazing things, and then you almost get kind of worried. You're like, I hope that they're the same, or I hope they're nice in real life, and then you meet them in real life and they're really nice. I mean, there's a lot of cases where actors aren't very nice to people, which I mean that's just there's nothing you can do about that. People
Right.
there's people who are going to be nice and there's people who aren't going to be. But the fact that people like that, like Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart, making lunch with you, I mean that's amazing. That's always really nice to hear those good stories and not stories of I mean like I'm sure with a lot of those celebrities the fame will get to them, absolutely. I mean like the fame would absolutely get to a lot of them where they can't even go grocery shopping, they can't even go anywhere without people bombarding them, paparazzis blocking their cars. And so it's very easy for some people to paint that picture of, oh, they're a terrible person because look at what they did. But they're people at the end of the day. They're
Yeah,
people,
exactly.
and you got to treat them like that. And working with so many people in the industry, do you get kind of because some people they would just be so starstruck like 24/7 that they're working with this person. Were you ever like that near the end of your career, or were you just kind of used to it at this point?
No, I just, for some reason, I think I took my work so serious and I knew what I was there for. Not to make friends, not to have long time relationships, but it ended up being that way. But I would always run it as business. I mean, when they'd come in the trailer, makeup trailer at 5, 6 in the morning, you know, tired or they had a fight with their boyfriend or their one of their parents is very ill, whatever. I just personality wise, I had to be able to know what to say, when to say, and most time just keep my mouth shut. And so there's that mood all the time in the makeup trailer. And so I think because I was private and I think they trusted me. And like I said, they love to cook. I mean, I can tell you stories about cooking with Julia Roberts and Kristen Stewart and Hilary Swank. When I did a film with Hilary Swank in Baton Rouge, she said, I want you to stay in the guest house because while we're here, I want you to teach me how to make every pie, cherry pie, peach pie, whatever. And with Julia, the first time I worked with her, she was telling me how she loves sausage biscuits and gravy. And I said, well, I make a pretty good sausage, biscuits, and gravy. And so it ended up every film we did, we'd always have all the ingredients in her refrigerator or kitchen, wherever a condo or house she was staying, and always make them. And we were in Vegas, and she was in one of the villas with all the different guys had their villas uh, at the Bellagio, and she said on a Sunday, she said, we're going to be leaving pretty soon. We ought to make that for dinner. And I said, for dinner? That's a breakfast brunch thing. And she said, no, we got to use it up. And I said, okay, then we're going to order like a fruit platter or something. And all of a sudden we're in there cooking and the door knocks and it's Matt Damon. And
Oh my.
he says, what smells so good going down the hall? And so before we knew it, I had them all there, Matt and Don Cheadle and George and Brad, and we're all sitting at her big dining room table eating sausage, biscuits, and gravy.
I'm already picturing that. I'm just picturing that. That's such a great picture that that should be painted.
Yeah. In my book, the recipes in the book, in my book too.
Oh, there we go. If you guys want to know how to attract celebrities to your house or anybody to your house, get Continuity, the book Continuity with Bonnie Clevering, and that will give you all the advice you need to attract famous people to your house or apartment or whatever the case may be. So many amazing sets and people you've worked with. What would you say was probably the most challenging movie set you've ever worked on?
Um, well, I think because I worked with Tim Allen a lot, and I think when we did the Santa Claus movie, uh, because I had not worked a lot with a special effects prosthetic makeup artist. And so uh, I had several different wigs for Tim because in the film, you see him progress and come back and forth in Santa, out of Santa, a little older, younger. So I had several different wigs when he played just himself. But when the prosthetic guys did all the rubber on the face and everything, then I had the Santa wig that I would have to put on the face, the rubber, and this lace that I'd have to glue on it. So I think that was one of my most challenging because hadn't really done anything like that. And Tim, of course, is just the greatest guy in the world. So that made the job much easier.
And that's Tim Allen too. I mean, he seems to me he's the same person on screen that he is off, or vice versa. Like he just seems like just that type of person who's really likable. And I find him and Tom Hanks too are just like that. They're very just easygoing people. And have you worked with Tom Hanks at all?
No, didn't do his hair, but I worked on a film that he was on. But
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't do his hair and never did Clint Eastwood or Robert Redford. Almost did Robert Redford because his hairstylist wasn't going to be available, but then she became available.
Oh yes, and of course the late Robert Redford. That was
Uh,
unfortunate. Passed away a few weeks ago, probably about a month ago now. And so that's it's always sad too whenever people that you work with that I mean obviously like you said you were close to working with Robert Redford. It didn't actually go, but it's always sad, like even just somebody who you've worked with briefly and you're like, oh, I still remember that day, like yesterday, whenever we were working together or when I did their hair. Are there any celebrities that passed away that you were like, oh wow, like I got to know them very, very well, and it's very sad to see uh that they're gone now.
well, John Candy,
Oh yes.
and yeah, and then of course, director wise and screenwriter wise. John Hughes. I did Curly Sue, and it was the last thing that John had directed. And but he had, written so many things. And so, and of course, my heart just breaks to think what Bruce Willis is going through right now. Just the kindest, gentlest man. And I I didn't do his hair, but I was always on the set of movies with him, and went a couple social things too. But just as nice as can be.
Yeah, no, it's terrible to see what he's going through, and uh especially so young, you know what I mean? Like you get to that age, he's I think he just turned 70, and it's just so sad to
Mhm.
see uh people will hear that and go, "Oh, he's in his 80s," or like, "No, he's still young,"
It's-
like
Yeah.
he's it's just absolutely terrible to hear about it. And but it's one of those reminders. Did that, like the whole prospect of that life is short, we don't know what's going to happen, we could wake up dead tomorrow, we could, like, you never know. Were those types of situations, is that kind of what prompted you to retire? Like lots of people are like that, where they have people around them who are passing away or getting sick, and they're like, you know what, life's short to be working all the time, I think I'm going to call it quits. Like, did that have any impact on your decision to retire?
No, not that so much. I think I'm 84 now, and so I was what 76 or something, whatever. You can do the math. Uh, that I had because of my work and everything I did, I always in the makeup trailer, I always had the right hand station. And the way I did the curling irons and blow dried hair and everything. I mean, eventually I had knee replacement on my right side, my shoulder replacement on my right side. My fingers are all crooked from holding a curling iron so much. And so I just think I was at the point of that, the days just seem longer than they were, than when I was 55 years old, because I really got back in, I was like 55. And so I put in 22 years after that because I had taken a little time off, younger.
This episode of the Corcoran Entertainment Show is brought to you by Holy Hydrogen. Okay, guys, let's be real. We all try our best to stay hydrated, right? But not all water is created equal. That's where Holy Hydrogen comes in. They've got this awesome device called the Lourdes Hydrofix Premium Edition, and it takes clean water to the next level by infusing it with molecular energy. That means you're not just drinking water, you're giving your body extra support with every sip, better energy, less inflammation, and a real boost to your immune system. So try the Lourdes Hydrofix Premium Edition today by going to shop.holyhydrogen.com/Corcoran and use the promo code Corcoran for $100 off your purchase. Again, that's shop.holyhydrogen.com/Corcoran and use the promo code Corcoran at checkout. Stay hydrated and stay healthy.
Yeah, we almost are faced with our own mortality in a way, like we're always just so go 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 go, and then once you get older, you're like, oh, it's fine, I still feel like I'm in my 20s or whatever, and then you're like, no, this, I can't be doing this for my whole life. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting older, it's harder. Like for you getting a knee replaced, it's big stuff, and eventually it just kind of goes like, you can't live the way you were when you were younger. Like that's kind of the harsh reality of what we, and accepting mortality, I guess, is a big thing too, of we're all human, I'm not invincible, time to take care of myself, type of deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's what it kind of ran with me also. But just having all those memories and the Elvis stories and, working with him was just a dream and great memory.
You got that mullet to look the way it did?
Well, I tell you, back in the 60s, the makeup men did the men's hair. We would touch it up and that, but of course we were always there on the set. And Elvis would always, he and his buddies always playing pranks on each other. They're just always doing something. So one day I thought, I'm gonna get him because I'm sure didn't think that I was that type to, really get him too. So one day I said, Elvis, let me light your cigar. And
Ooh.
I had a Zippo lighter that you could put the flames up. And so uh, he kind of hesitated. Okay. So I went to light it, and I had the flame that just would zoom. And I afterwards thought, oh, darn, I could have burned off that pompadour. And then a few weeks later, he was complaining about how dry his hands were in the cuticles. And so I said, it's an old makeup artist trick. The guys used to pull it. So I said, I've got some great cream or lotion, for you. And so he kind of hesitated. So what I did, I put hand lotion that smelled good on my hands first. Then I had a little bottle in my hands tight, and it was spirit gum. And spirit gum is
Oh dear.
what it's
I
like
know exactly.
glue. It's a glue. And so I go to pour it, and I said, "Oh, hurry, rub your hands together because I gave you too much." And then the joke, he got the joke. Well, the next day he came to work and he said, Bonnie, he said, I was picking that stuff out of my nails all night long.
I was picking that all night long, Grandmama.
Yeah, yeah. But he was so kind. And Nancy Sinatra, I was doing Nancy's hair, and Nancy was giving Priscilla Presley a baby shower and invited me to come to the shower up to Nancy's house. And I had an infertility problem and I'd been having miscarriages. So halfway through the shower, Nancy had Priscilla and I stand up. And it's an old Italian wives' tale to rub both your hands on the pregnant woman's stomach, and that's supposed to bring you luck. So, okay, she told me to do it, I'll do it. That was the month I got pregnant, right after that. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that was crazy. And in my book has a picture of the thank you note that came from Graceland, the return address, a little cute little thank you. Elvis and I want to thank you for the baby gift, da da da. And so those kind of memories and things, really stick with me, and how kind so many of my actors were.
They're really the best. Like a lot of them, when you talk to them and you're expecting, like even some people who I've had on the show that I've really looked up to, and I was like, oh my God, I'm kind of nervous because I don't know how they are. And then you talk to them and I'm like, oh my God, they're like the nicest person
Yeah,
ever, you know? And it's just, it's really, you know, it's good to definitely don't get an ego for actors to not get an ego. It doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter how successful you are. You treat others how you'd want to be treated. And
exactly.
it's truly really great to see. And it's also probably a testament to you and how, and just how you are as a person. I could even just tell through your personality that you just hit it off with all these people and that it was just your natural, kindness is what really brought out the best in these people and brought out it's really it does take one person to make a difference. If
Oh, yes.
even the smallest act that might not seem big is big for somebody else. It'll impact their life and maybe set them on a path. Like you never know. You're setting off a chain of events that you never intended, but it's a good type of chain of events. And
Well,
yeah.
that's where the continuity, we picked the name of the book, my son and I, a continuity, because in the film business, the continuity is so important. For instance, if Julia Roberts is outside in the rain or the snow or the fog or whatever, I would always take, and I've got thousands and thousands of Polaroid in 30 by 5 millimeter prints of the front of their hair, each side of their hair in the back. So I'd have 4 pictures of every scene with the scene number and the date we shot, because it may be a month or two that we see Julia walking into the corridor or into the house. And so that hair has to match exactly what it was outside. And then after we got to thinking about it, the continuity of life and your schedules and everything, there's just that word really was so important in my work.
No, and really, like it's, it's truly great to make a difference, and to also make you a better person too. Just hearing from all these people, and just getting the experience, like getting all the like just getting the opportunity to prank Elvis. Who could say that?
Uh-huh.
You know, it's truly fantastic, and you've certainly left behind, a great career, a great legacy for other aspiring hairstylists. If they want to pursue this, whether they want to just be a hairstylist just for people, or specifically for the motion picture industry, you've really paved the way. So thank you, Bonnie, for all that you've done. Congratulations on your success and everything. If you were to kind of give a piece of advice for somebody listening who wants to pursue the same type of work that you have, what would you say to them?
I would say that you have to really know your craft, and you have to really deal with all kinds of people, even just to become a hairdresser in a salon. Years ago, the Wall Street Journal had an article. If a woman was willing to give up her psychiatrist or her therapist or her hairdresser, which one would she give up that day? And they would say everyone but the hairdresser, because they got both from them. And so I think they have to be that personality that can just kind of roll with the punches and just be a true person, and make that actor or actress or that lady in the salon sitting in your chair comfortable. And then as far as the film business, I mean, that's a whole other ball game, just because the film business has changed so much. And which I'm sure, Frankie, you know too, how it's changed. And so you just have to be determined and be able to financially be able to wait a while before you be able to be financially set.
Yep. It'll take time. It won't come as quickly as you might want it. Some cases, I'm sure, are different. But for the most part, having the realistic approach, just thinking that it's not going to come immediately, or knowing it's not going to come immediately, but keep working at it, save at it,
Mhm.
and it'll come. It will
Yeah.
come. Truly amazing, Bonnie. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show today. Guys, the book is called Continuity with Bonnie Clevering, Life Beyond the Credits. Be sure to go check that out wherever you get your books. Thank you again, Bonnie.
You can get it on Amazon now.
Amazon
And,
now. Okay,
yeah,
perfect. There we
and
go.
Barnes
That's
and
the main one.
Nobles. I've been doing some Barnes and Nobles book fairs.
Oh,
too.
okay. Awesome. So
Yeah.
yeah, guys, be sure to check that out. Thank you, Bonnie, for coming on. I really appreciate your time.
Okay, well, thanks for having me, Frankie, and have a good day.
Yes, and you as well, guys. Thank you all for listening to the show today. We will see you guys in the next episode, but until then, this is Frankie and Bonnie signing off. Cheers, Bonnie.
Bye-bye.